I'm pretty sure if I tried hard enough for today's prompt, I literally could just do strong females from Full Metal Alchemist alone. But I told myself I couldn't do all of my picks from one manga. Happy Wednesday, my friends. I am so very excited that you are here. Happy August. We are kicking off another month of Top 5 Wednesday, and I'm so very excited. Today's prompt is absolutely awesome, but in case if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday, each week our host creates a series of prompts, and on that Wednesday we answer that prompt with 5 books, but in this case I do manga to reflect that said prompt. And today's prompt is strong female characters. I feel like not just in manga, but across the board, we are seeing an emphasis in fiction where more and more the female characters are just not damsels in distress. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a damsel in distress. I don't mind damsel in distress because I know that I am one. But I really do appreciate strong female characters. These females that go in, they charge into these situations. It doesn't matter if they're the hero, it doesn't matter what their gender is. They're like, we're going to go save these people, we're going to go save the day, and that's just a fact. So today we are spotlighting 5 different strong female characters that we have read in fiction. Like I said at the opening, I literally think I could do just the woman in Full Metal Alchemist because all of them are strong women. Let's just go with number 1, and we're going to go say General Major Armstrong. I don't have the manga, so I'm going to leave the shiny Full Metal Edition volume here. But dude, every time she was on page, I feel like I was just starry-eyed. She is an amazing and strong female character. Like, not even just physically, but like the way she has earned the respect of the Briggs, I was about to say military, but yeah, you could say the Briggs military, and just in their fort, their defense. I mean, she is incredible, and she takes no smack, and she is almost very, very harsh, but she does have a soft spot underneath all of that cold armor, and I loved reading her on page. Like, literally, it is no, like, exaggeration saying I just felt like I had stars in my eyes when she came on page, because I'm like, I feel so far different from her character that I'm like, I don't think I could ever be like her, but I would love to be like her. She really is just an inspiring and just an amazing character, and I don't know, I loved all of Full Metal Alchemist, but I can definitely say that when she enters the manga and we're at Briggs, I just ate it up. I mean, I really loved it. I mean, there were times where I'm like, man, like, she is pretty hardcore. And even when I first met her, I was like, dude, I was like, this girl is like super duper intimidating. And that really comes off on page. And I just literally every time she's on page, I absolutely loved her. So I definitely felt that she had to be highlighted for strong female characters. And I'm going to say one more from Full Metal Alchemist, though literally right before this video, I was like, Laura, you forgot Riza. And I'm like, Riza could definitely be on this list. But the second person I wanted to highlight was Izumi Curtis. That is the master of Ed and Al, and I will also leave the Full Metal Edition volume here because I don't have any of these, and she just looks so cool. She was definitely another strong female character in Full Metal Alchemist, and not just because she's physically strong, but when you hear her backstory, I mean, I admired how she was able just to get out of bed. I cannot imagine going through the things that she did, the pain that she has felt internally. I mean, it was hard. As another mom, and I guess as another female, like, I just really, as I say, I resonated with her story. I have not been in her position, or her situation, I should say. My heart really went out to her, and I just admired how she still had just such a huge heart for Edward and Al, despite the decisions that they made, despite the anger and upsetness that she has with them, and also how, like, she just took them in as her own, and how she raised and I mean, yes, she is definitely a parental figure to them, but okay, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Yes, she raised them in the sense of a parental figure, but she also raised them up to learn alchemy and to grow as individuals and not just as alchemists. Well, with just all of that. Hopefully that makes sense, because I feel like I'm getting myself tongue-tied, but I really admired her character for that. I mean, she can definitely kick butt, and I loved how yes, she is a full-fledged alchemist. She is up there. She's in the top dogs, but she's just a housewife. I really loved a lot of different aspects of her character, because I felt like her character showed that you don't always need the title that comes with the big dogs, and saying that she is a amazing alchemist. No, she's like, I'm just a housewife. And then she's like, when she was feeling sassy, then she said, I'm an alchemist. But I loved how she didn't have to have that title or that recognition to just be, I don't know if be content with where she is the right word, but I felt like just she showed so much that you can be, I guess, content and feel fulfilled with your abilities without that recognition. Like her just being the master of Ed and Al, even if it maybe wasn't super willingly at first. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. If you've read it, you know what I mean? That she just still took on that role and just helped these young boys, or they were young boys at the time, and just helped them to grow into the men that they are today. So I love, like I said, so many different aspects of her character. I feel like she's not just physically strong, but internally strong, and especially hearing her story. And just, I feel like as a housewife myself, I feel like she is another character I would aspire to be. I loved her character so much. And she was always super awesome on page. Another starry-eyed character, or me being starry-eyed for this character. For number 3, I'm very excited to mention this series because I have not talked about it at all, and I absolutely love this series. It was the Anyway, let me first say it before I go rambling on, but that is Sayonara Football. This is different than the Sayonara Football Farewell, My Dear Kramer. These are like the prequel volumes. I love these. This was the first series first volume, I should say, manga that I ever like requested from NetGalley and got approved from Kodansha, and I just fell head over heels for Nozomi. I don't even know where to start with her character. This is a soccer-based manga, and basically she wants to be on the boys' soccer team, but she can't because she is a female. And the way that she just pushes back and refuses to accept that reality for herself. She wants to play with these boys. She has the skills. She has the abilities. But over and over again, she keeps being told she can't because she is a female, because she is weaker, because she can't keep up. And interesting enough, so like somewhere that you've seen here, she actually goes undercover as a boy to go and, I was supposed to say go and fight, to go and play in this big match that happens. And I just remember her saying, I remember if it's in the first, I think it's in the first volume, her friend questions and asks, why are you so obsessed with this? Why can't you just be content and be happy to play on the girls' soccer team? And she's like, when I think about these men telling me no, that I can't, she's like, it makes me just want to scream. And so she keeps fighting. She keeps training. And she is an amazing and incredible soccer player. I mean, watching her, this is a prime example. I'm being enchanted. Granted, there is a different reason that this was said, but I do feel that was how it was when you see Nozomi play. I mean, she has the ability. And so I feel the way that she just does not give up makes her such a strong female character. I mean, she keeps pushing and keeps pushing. And there's a lot I would say with this. And I do have a video review of volume 1 and volume 2. Here's the link to video 2, or to the volume 2, I mean, not video 2. She really gives her all, and just, she never quits learning. She never quits training. I forgot where I was going to go with that. I was going to go elsewhere, and then I got sidetracked by looking at the panels. But you see, that's what I say. You see it in the art. You see it in this second volume of how diligently, how much she has trained to be at this place, to be in this time. And I feel like with all of this said, if you continue this series in Sayonara Football, Farewell, My Dear Kramer, you see Nozomi grow a lot. I've only read, I think, up to volume 2, but I have up to volume 3 or volume 4 digitally. The only reason I love this one more than Farewell, My Dear Kramer is because I love seeing Nozomi shine on page. She is one of my favorite characters, and I just really loved her strength and how her excitement and dedication just really moved me, and I could feel her passion just radiate off the page. Even though she is a high schooler and she is just playing soccer, I do feel just that her perseverance is everything, and just so excited that I was actually able to spotlight her today during this video. And I do have the review of volume 1 here if you would like to check it out. This is a wonderful series. It's only 2 volumes, though you can continue it in the Sayonara Football Farewell My Dear Kramer. So yes, Nozomi is awesome and a very strong female character. For number 4, I'm also very excited to feature this, and that is why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion. Oh my goodness, she is no damsel in distress whatsoever, and I just love her character because of that. Like, here she is in this situation where her fiance she knows is going to kill her. This is a like reincarnated villainous isekai sort of. No, it's not. No, it's not. Scratch that. It's not a villainous. Because I originally I thought it was, but it's not. But it is an isekai, and she is reincarnated into this story world, and she has read this novel beforehand, and so she knows that as this lady that she is going to be killed by her fiance, rather than just waiting for things to happen or just sulking or being depressed or crying. She's like, I'm taking matters into my own hands, and I just love her character so very much. I do not feel I have that same kind of strength or that kind of like strategy to be like, you know what, I'm going to get myself out of this situation. I don't need anybody to do it for me. I'm going to do this because I know that I have the capability, or at least going to try and have the capability to do this. And she does. You see this unfold in this manga. I mean, there's definitely times where she questions, did she make the right decision? But that's the thing. She is a strong female character who makes these hard decisions that I honestly don't know if I can make and just moves forward. She's always moving forward. She's doing what she can to keep herself alive, and I feel like also just grow as an individual. And there's politics, there's mystery, so many great characters, and I'm very excited for volume 2. I did do a video review of this series just recently because I absolutely loved it, and I'm like, I have to gush about this before the anime hits so that people can experience this even before the anime. Again, she's very smart, and I would not say that she's cunning, but she does know. It's not that she does know, but that she honestly really takes time, like she takes a lot of consideration into what's going on in like certain situations, and really taking the time to think through those scenarios, think through those situations, seeing what can she do to, again, keep herself alive, because that's sort of the main goal right now. But as the story goes on, she sees that, okay, yes, she has been kept alive. She's probably not going to die, but that doesn't mean things are going to be far from easy, especially with being thrown deeper into this political world that is, yes, she was part of it, but now she knows different secrets, things are coming out, and she's really in deep in this. And so I think we're really going to see her shine as a strong female character in just as the series goes on and as it progresses. And I'm all here for the romance. I know that's like a little bit of an aside there, but it is a wonderful story. And like I said, I love her character and how she just, I would say, doesn't take no for an answer, but that she's not willing to just sulk about her situation. She's going all the way in and doing everything that she can and thinks about it to see what she can do. And that's just awesome to me. I absolutely love that so much. For number 5, I don't know if she quite thinks just as strategically, so to speak, but oh my goodness, I absolutely love her. And that is Shinomiya from Kaiju number 8. Whew, this is another series that has a lot of strong female characters, but I really, really love her character. Yes, she is strong, but the thing is, I feel like mentally she is also very strong because she has a lot of pressure riding on her when you meet her in the first volume. And part of why I love Kafka's character even more is because they have a great it wasn't a discussion. Kafka encourages her, and then we have a flashback and learn from that flashback that her dad expects her to be perfect. I mean, nothing less than perfection is acceptable. And because of that, she has strived so very hard in all areas of her life, especially for the armed forces. I feel like maybe she is different than the ladies I have featured beforehand because she does fight a lot. Like, that's mainly what we see of her. But I feel like when we see that flashback in this first volume, it just gave me such a heart for her and how she should have celebrated victories that she has made along the way. But her dad's like, no, like, why would you expect to celebrate this when you're already supposed to be perfect? And so her driving force is almost like, I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect. And so I feel like to have that kind of weight on your shoulders, that kind of expectation, you have to be strong. You have to be immovable to do your job and hopefully love what you do, because if she's not loving what she does, I mean, how can you continue to move forward with that? I just couldn't imagine that. I honestly just couldn't like imagine having that kind of expectation and that kind of burden on her, but yet she carries it so very well. I mean, she's one of the strongest female characters in this manga. She looks awesome when she's kicking butt, and she is a great rival to Kafka. I really enjoy their interactions, and she is, I think, a fun character, but I honestly hope that there is a time where there is a time that I hope that she continues to see encouragement from her comrades, especially Kafka, which I can imagine is the most unexpected person that she would ever expect to hear that from. But he knew exactly what to say at the right time, and I really feel like he does know what to say at the right time to her, and that she just can't help but look up to him. And how could she not, with, like I said, with those expectations put on her by her father? I feel like she just needs somebody in her life to just give her that praise, give her that encouragement. I feel like that went a little bit around the bout there, went on a rabbit trail, but I do feel again that she is a very strong character just because of those expectations, and I just think she's very awesome. And I was like, I love this yellow volume and how cool she looks and how she just basically took out this kaiju with this big honking axe, and she's just awesome. She can totally kick butt. Oh, she can totally kick butt, and just a very well-deserved character that deserves to be on this list today. For an honorable mention, this is different than everything I have mentioned, and I sort of debated if it would fit, but I really do, and that is Natsumi from Haru's Curse. I read this for Marguerite's manga book club, Treat Yourself, and this was a very moving story. It sounds a little bit like, I don't know about this, when you hear about that basically these two start dating because her sister, who was his fiance, dies, and you're like, did she just bust in and make some moves? And no, it is so far from that. This is a very hard, very emotional, moving story that I really was surprised how much I love. And the reason I want to feature Natsumi, because she reminds me of Shinomiya in a lot of ways, not necessarily with the perfection expectations, but there are so many burdens weighing on her, and her heart is just so heavy. And when you see her interactions with this young man, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but when you see their interactions, there's just so much pain, there's just so much hurt, and there are expectations from her family. And this is a great example that sometimes you can't control what your heart wants. And yes, sometimes there are wrong things that your heart should not want, but that this story is so much more than a romantic love, and that there is so much healing. And when we see her find out her sister's memories, oh my goodness. Oh, it was so hard. It was very, very brutal. And I just feel like she is very, very strong mentally to be able to handle the things that she does, and sometimes not be able to handle those things, and how she needs help too. And I don't mean that like in a bad way or anything like that, but that she just has so much on her shoulders, and she has fears, and with things with her family and the loss that they have experienced, it's hard. It's a hard read. It's not a light read. I mean, the art is gorgeous, so I'm not going to even deny that. But I mean, just the things that she feels and the struggles that she has, I just feel like she's a very strong character. I would definitely recommend checking out that video that's on Marg's channel of the discussion that took place about this, because it was very eye-opening, and I found a very specific scene that was extremely and very relatable about what was going on in this story. So yes, Natsumi, she may not be your conventional strong female character, but I do feel she's a strong character nonetheless, especially how the story ends and how she was able to make these really hard and tough decisions that she knew that not everybody around her was going to like or even appreciate. And that, my friends, wraps up my picks for strong female characters. There is definitely a lot more that I could have said today, but with those, I feel like those are my top 5 favorite strong female characters, plus my honorable mention. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some strong female characters that come to mind that you absolutely love and think they are totally amazing? I would love to hear from you, friends. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!